Yes, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Certainly welcome to the video on demand viewers. I don't know that there's anyone here on the live stream yet. And it's time, folks, to
listen to your friend Chris.
Oh, yeah, live stream time. So let's have a quick scan through all my settings, make sure everything's all right. Telling me to open a widget to configure something. But I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to close it and pretend I don't know. Because that's how we do round here. Oh, dear. I tell you, it's hot here in the United Kingdom right now, folks. It is absolutely bloody boiling. So I've got my old tower fan going behind me over here. Which is, to all intents and purposes, just blowing around more hot air in here. But please do let me know. I'm pretty sure it's not being picked up by the microphone. It's only my voice that you're hearing. But let me know if there's an annoying buzz in the background from the fan. Not that I'll turn it off. There's not a chance I could turn it off. That would not be sensible in this heat. I am dying. It's so bad. Although not as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was grim. Really grim. That was super hot. I worked from home all day yesterday. The dog was huffing and puffing. Just like really, really done. And of course, we've got the lights on, which is just adding to the heat. Got the laptop going, got the lights on, all the stuff. So it's like a proper sweatbox in this little man cave here. So I hope you appreciate the sacrifice that's taking place this evening. Oh, here we go. Bobby Dubs in the house. Hello, Bobby Dubs. Hope you're all good and well, my man. And another Bobby Wonderland. Hi, Robert. From the middle of the US. What's temperatures like out there in the middle of the US? Because it is hot over here. Well, hot by UK standards. What you have to appreciate is that we're not particularly a country that's built for heat. We're a country that's built for cold, wet climates. And so all our houses are made to retain heat. Out and about everywhere is, no air conditioning. Just horrible. And we got Raphael here. Hi, Raph. Sweat droplets. Yeah, tell me about it, man. I am hot. I'm feeling it. Got there. I was just saying before you guys turned up, I've got the tower fan going behind me here, which I think that's what Bobby was getting at when he says sounds good so far. Because I was asking whether that could be heard on the microphone, but I think we're all right. My initial tests before. 100 degrees F. So what's that in? We use Celsius over here. So let me just do a quick conversion. 100 F in C. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, we're not quite that hot. So we were at 32, 33 yesterday, which would be by that standard around the late 80s by your numbers. So, all right, you win. It's not a competition, Rob. Bobby, it's actually been pretty cool so far this year. Only had maybe 2 hot days in the Bay Area of California. Oh, really? So that's interesting because for me, here in the United Kingdom, when you say California, the visual image that I bring up of California is, deserty, hot, the fires, so it evokes beaches, of course, it evokes an image of a hot place to be. But is that cool by your Californian standards? Would I consider your weather to be like glorious vacation weather? Lovely time you got there. Yeah, all right. Whatever. But it's hot for me. I can't handle it. I'm not good with heat anyway. Not good with heat. I've got a bit of a holiday coming up. I'm going over to the continent week after next, I think. I've been looking at the temperatures there and it's going to be hot. But it's different when you're on holiday, of course, because, the reason the heat's getting to me is because, like I said before, we're not a country built for heat. So I'm in buildings that don't handle heat very well. My own home, my own house, is all built for heat retention in this country, not keeping you cool. No air conditioning, but when you're on holiday, you're in countries that are built that way. There is air conditioning. If you want to go for a dip in the pool to cool down, you can do. I'm not having to work, so all that good stuff comes into the narrative, doesn't it? Oh, hey, Joe Fan's here. Joe Fan 84. How you doing, my man? Just stopped by to say hello. I'm at work, so unfortunately cannot stay. I'll catch the replay later. No worries. Well, don't work too hard, is all I'll say. And I appreciate the effort just to come and say hi. It's appreciated. 105 in Alabama. Yeah, okay. So you guys are 4 or 5 degrees C hotter than what we're experiencing over here. See, Alabama again, yeah, my mental image, my understanding of the United States, I imagine that to be, you know, a hot place. Where was Breaking Bad? Oh, no, that was Albuquerque, not Alabama. Alabama's Alabama. I want to say it like that. Is that correct? Or am I being completely inappropriate? The Bay Area is a giant swamp cooler. Right, I see. Okay, so it's kind of like a geographical thing as to where you are. Very good. Very good. Yeah, so I'm doing all right, though. I'm doing okay. Got me a little, like I said, I've got my little fan going. And I'll probably stream for about 90 minutes, maybe, estimate. We'll see how we go. I say that all the time, then end up doing two hours. I mean, I'm not quite, you know, Punk with Toys 3.5 hour epic kind of length in time. I have got work tomorrow, after all. I'll need to go to bed at some point, but I can handle it. Great accent, brother. What my version of the Alabama? That's all I can do is say the name. Alabama. That's about as much as I can handle. What do I know about Alabama? I'm just trying to think now. What do I know about Alabama? Very little. Where's Justified set? Is that around Alabama? I feel like maybe that's set around Alabama. Or once again, am I just demonstrating my geographical ignorance about North America? The entire South is hot, humid, and full of the best people. And then Billy Butch is here, folks. Hi, Billy. How's it going, my man? 1980, bro. Billy Butch, 1980. 1980. 1980. It's always very easy to remember when our ages, because, you know, our birth age is the second number in the year, you know. And incidentally, folks, just to let you know, it's my birthday today. Would you believe? In Huntsville, NASA has an amazing museum. Right. Well, if I ever get the opportunity to visit, I love a good museum as well. So I will endeavour to go and check it out. All right, Joe Fan, no worries. Don't work too hard, like I said. Keep it chill. Billy Butch, nice one. Yeah, vintage 1980. So I'm wearing this today because it's my birthday, you see, and this is the year of my birth. Not that I've had much fuss, to be honest. It's been a pretty standard day. I've been in work, done a bit of dad's taxiing around, doing the kids' holiday clubs and what have you, because they're off for the summer at the minute. Dogs have been walked. You know, had a very standard dinner. We'll probably do something at the weekend, like maybe have a barbecue on Sunday, see my parents. But yeah, pretty pedestrian. Although eagle-eyed viewers will notice the Lego R2-D2 in the corner. That was one of my gifts, so I'll get that bad boy built. I've got a BB-8 up the top there. I don't think you can see on camera, but I've been thinking for a long time I want rid of BB-8. I'm not even that big of a fan of BB-8. An R2-D2 will be the perfect replacement to fill that spot on the old display shelf up there. I don't talk Star Wars a great deal, and obviously a lot of the collectibles that I share on the channel aren't particularly Star Wars related, but I am an original trilogy fan at minimum, so I do have a little acknowledgement of that with a little Star Wars gathering of stuff up top there. And what's Bobby Dub saying here now? You're doing a southern accent. It's reminding me of the time Jeremy Clarkson, James May, Richard Hammond came to the South and did an episode down there. Yeah, is that the famous one where they'd written on the back of the car something like God loves gays, and then just sort of drove around a notoriously homophobic area? Is that the famous one where they did that? Thank you, Billy. Yes, thank you. I've not had a drink tonight. I did one that I might see. Did you see the Bivouac Funded? No, I didn't actually. So I did see, I've not watched it yet, but I did see that they'd done a stream that, and I saw on the thumbnail on my Instagram that it was Emily with a snow cat in front of her. So I knew that there'd been a bit of activity. And I had seen out and about folks, you know, giving it the, you know, just full of gripes everywhere. People griping about snow cat. I'm not going to fund it unless because I want to see where the tiers are at. But obviously, that's the catch-22. That's the the issue, the cyclical issue, because if they don't fund it, it'll never get up to the thing. So that's pleasing, because I suspect the bivouac is the tier within that selection that folks were kind of probably most desiring. I've certainly seen the Arctic Flint and the Arctic Lady J be quite polarizing. There's folks who are well into it, like, yeah, totally would have them. And folks who are really just find them completely objectionable. And I see very little calm opinion in the middle around it, but the bivouac I would have thought would be the one to drive more interest, so that's good to hear. I mean, I've not gone in on it. I think most of you guys hang around here quite frequently, so you'll know that I just don't have the space in this little shoebox here for the larger HasLabs. As much as the snowcap does look great, I think it looks good. I'd certainly love to have a Frostbite in the collection. I quite like the Arctic Lady J and Flint, mostly because that's an aesthetic that you see a lot in the cartoon. It was the aesthetic you saw them wearing in those earlier scenes in the movie. And so it works for me, on that respect. Although how much, it does bring me back around to that question I ask all the time, like, well, how much would you actually use it? How much actually would you get those figures out? Which is the reason why I didn't go for Once a Man Coco, for example. So yeah, it does look great. I haven't gone in on it because I just don't have the space, man. And it's a bit of a big outlay for me at this moment. Like I say, I'm about to go on holiday and stuff. Happy birthday. Bobby confirming that I had the right Top Gear episode there. Robert says, I want the bivouac, but I'm passing on it. The money needs to go elsewhere. Yeah, I get that, man. I hear you. As I was just saying, I'm in the same boat. The cost, the space. I would be very surprised if at some point in the future a G.I. Joe Classified, if obviously depending on how long it goes for, but at some point in the future a G.I. Joe Classified, that bivouac set doesn't turn up in some sort of play set package, but in more standard kind of military green, foresty, jungly colours or something. I'd be very surprised. I can't see them creating an independent mold like that and not milking it for all they can. And folks like you and I, while we might not want to drop 325 quid on something, or bucks in your case, we'd certainly stretch to a 25-30 quid set. Or more, do it like they did with the Trench Viper. Do a bivouac and throw in, I don't know who would be a good fit for a bivouac. Who was with the on the box on the camping set originally? I feel like I want to say it was Leatherneck. I'm gonna have a look now. G.I. Joe. Was the original one called the bivouac, or was it called like the? Yeah, it was. So it didn't come with a figure, but it was. Oh, it looks like it's Flash and is that the old version of Rock and Roll with the beard? Anyway, yeah, I take it with a wow, 300 quid on eBay, a boxed bivouac, vintage. So yeah, I totally go in on that. Yeah, it looks like you're in agreement with me. Here's Connor. Apologies for being late. I was just fulfilling my obligation at the Full Family IT department. Happy birthday, Chris. Thank you very much, my man. And I hope you successfully turned it off and back on again without issue. I get called upon. I've got 2 teenage kids and the wife. And I get called upon, and my mother-in-law lives just down the road as well. So I get called upon for IT support. And I was saying to my wife, not too long back, that it's quite surprising to me that I have to help the kids out as much as I do. Like, I feel there's been sort of a generational jump, and that, like, UI has been streamlined to the point where now my teenage kids, they get the interface, how to use the app or whatever, but when it actually comes to doing something that requires a little bit more depth of thought than swiping, they can't do it, which surprises me greatly, Anyway, okay, well, I've got a little round robin, see who's here, say hello to everyone who's arriving. We'll obviously welcome any new arrivals as they potentially drip feed in, but there is a particular theme for today's live stream, a particular theme. So, as some of you guys will know, I posted a video, was it last week or the week before? When I post compared to when I record goes out of sync sometimes. But I did a video and I was talking about G.I. Joe Classified series, the creation of new characters. I was just sort of reflecting on it and having to think because of the Ghost Viper and the, what's the other one called? The Grim Viper that they've just released. And then I was reflecting on like Wolf Spider and the Trench Viper and stuff like that. And talking about the fact that, you know, when we were kids, we used to play imaginatively like that. We would make up our own characters. We do kit bash stuff and play around. And so in a moment of kind of mind wandering, I thought, you know what, that'd be a fun thing to do, is do a stream, talk to people about imaginary characters, making up their own characters. And then, speaking of my teenage kids, my daughter made a great suggestion. She said, why don't you create them? Which of course I don't have the artistic talent to do. So we'll use some AI. So the plan is Breaker and Short Fuse. I had it completely wrong. Who did I say? I just completely misidentified them because I struggle with the OG13 sometimes. You know, in the green with the helmets. Sub-Zero's here. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Sub-Zero. Everyone say hi to the new arrival. And Curtis has rolled in as well. Hi, Curtis. And thank you very much for the birthday wishes, my friend. So that's the theme, that's the idea. And so the plan is to I've got the video open to grab a couple off the comments because a few people commented on the video where I talked about this, their ideas, but obviously you're welcome to talk through ideas. We'll tap in some prompts into I'm going to use Google Gemini for it and generate the images and have a look, and who knows, it could be an absolute random mess. I've done a few tests, so I'll show you them in a second to give you a sense of how strong or not so strong this process may be. And yeah, we'll just have a laugh, see what it produces, create some characters. We can create serious ones, we can create silly ones, whatever you like. So that's the plan, just for a pretty light-hearted stream, basically. So I'm going to switch my screen over to my screen share. So this was the video here where I talked about what I was planning on doing, and I've obviously got that because there were some comments there. But let's just jump over to my folder, because I'll show you the test ones that I did, just kind of playing around with it. So I was creating a character called Burnout. So I mentioned in the video, I said like some crazy burnout stoner. So I created a dreadnought called Burnout. I've done 2 versions of each of them all there. So here is Burnout that the AI image generator created, which is not too bad actually. At initial glance, it's not too bad. Got this sort of 60s stoner vibe, but I also told the AI to give her a specialism, and it's obviously chosen to give her demolitions by the looks of it. So we've got some nice stuff going on there, like the dreadlock hair, the tie-dye, which I thought was a nice touch. But some things have gone completely awry, because look at what's going on here. 2 hands. 3 hands. What's that all about? Actually, I'll zoom back out. Look at that with the hands. So just one random floating hand holding the dynamite, and then another floating hand holding this like fuse box thing here, which is ridiculous. And look at the knees, like knee pads on skin-colored knees. Although I suppose you could get away with that if there were straps down the side, which there isn't. So yeah, that was Burnout, which I was just playing around with it to see whether the idea was viable. Here's the second version that it produced, which I think is a lot better. Look at this. It's not too bad, is it? Not too bad at all. Again, got the kind of stuck with, because I said I'll keep this but alter that. I was putting in commands, but added some tattoos down the arms. Still got the sort of dreadlocky hair. Still got the tie-dye bit in there. But yeah, not too bad. So that's actually, in terms of the creation of a dreadnought by the name of Burnout, it doesn't look too bad, does it? What do you think? Rob Wanland says, I'll get one. Burnout's having one epic acid trip. Yeah, for sure, with the extra hands. Weird way to carry dynamite. Lots of accessories, so I'd get that. Yeah, for sure, yeah. I mean, look at this version. Loads of stuff, like 2 sledgehammers, because obviously, I don't know demolitions. I'm not explosive experts, but I don't think demolitions people would carry sledgehammers, would they? There would be things like wire clippers, surely. I don't know. So if anyone is particularly familiar with the use of dynamite, let me know. Badass female character, yes please. And with dynamite has its own peg. Does it? Is that on the previous one? I think you guys are on a slight time delay to me, aren't you? Hang on, let me go back. The hand with the dynamite has its own. Yeah. It's so weird, that, isn't it? Just look at it. Or maybe it's some kind of weird, like, mystical crystal ball type talent. So yeah, there you go. There's Burnout that I created, and then let's see what's next. Oh yeah, so this is a new character. This is a British Joe by the name of Captain Britpop. Here. So obviously got the camo jacket, the combat trousers, but very practical, comfortable footwear for combat scenarios. Clearly was a part of the RAF prior to the G.I. Joe membership. Got the protective eyewear, you know, for things like bright lights or projectiles like pints of piss, things like that. And obviously the special weapon, the axe. Look at the way he's holding the revolver there, though. Yeah, so I was talking to Curtis a bit earlier on the Discord. Right now, as you guys probably know, Oasis are on tour, the reunion tour, and you can't escape them. They're everywhere. Every time I turn the telly on, someone's talking about it. All the types of stuff that I read around music, they're all talking about it. So I just made that one, Captain Britpop. But I did do a second version. Oh, Soft Goods coat as well. And Soft Goods trousers. So this isn't really a classified. This is more like a Mezco, isn't it? Is that one? No, it's not one of the Gallagher brothers. This is a new G.I. Joe called Captain Britpop. There's the other one that it produced. This one's got more of, again, even though I typed the specific words, create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe Classified Series figure in the prompt, this one has got more of a kind of classic, like 12-inch doll look to it. You know what I mean? 12-inch doll. Does he play the guitar with a revolver as a pit? No, he does it like, like Jimmy Page in Led Zeppelin, like with the violin bow down the strings, but instead he's using that long revolver barrel. It's got a little bit of look at the barrel on that. I'm not so sure about this one, but I don't know why it keeps. I said in the prompt specifically, create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe Classified Series figure, and yeah, it's thrown a load of soft goods on. But yeah, that was the other one that I had to go at. What's Bobby saying here? AI should have given him the Desperado gun case. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, just like with all the stuff inside it. Or you talking about the guy who it was just like a big machine gun inside the case. Either would have worked, wouldn't it? Either would have worked. So there you go, Captain Britpop. What do you think, folks? A new G.I. Joe called Captain Britpop would go well with could combat Cold Slither there. Right, okay, so this is Dr. Mindslaughter. So this is Lawrence over at Punk with Toys. He talked in the comments about the fact that he used to kit bash his Dr. Mindbender with Sergeant Slaughter's arms. So he'd taken and took the cape off and stuff and played around with them and created this a character of his own called Dr. Mindslaughter. So I used his prompts. I used his idea as a prompt for this little test case, and this is what it produced. The only thing that sort of stands out as a bit odd in all this to me is that it's supposed to be his eyebrow. he's got his eyebrow, and then there's like a second strap thing. Is that holding his monocle in place, or is that like some weird second eyebrow going on there? But it's obviously mixed the kind of purple in. Giving him the big arms to look like Sergeant Slaughter. I'm not sure I can see where the Sergeant Slaughteriness is in this, considering I told it to, we were looking to do a kit bash of Dr. Mindbender and Sergeant Slaughter. Wait until I show you the other one though in a sec. It's balmy. Mindbender could use some clothes. Yeah, well, yeah, he's covered up for sure. But that one's pretty straightforward. Camo coat, purple trimmings, that's fine. But this I made a slight alteration. I can't remember what the command alteration is, but from that one to the next one, I said something like, yeah, keep the core of this, but change something. Can't remember what it was specifically. Oh no, was it the other way around? I think this might have been the first one. And he's put the cape on him there, but look at his weird half face thing. That's going on there. Even with a line down the middle, with the two different kind of facial structures to imply that this is some sort of weird Mindbender experiment that's merged them both together. And how does the AI think that's acceptable? Do you know what I mean? Where's he getting his inspiration from? Oh dear, honestly. Yeah, fucking hell indeed, Rob. Yeah. Pin joints, old book. Pins. So that was mine sorted. So that was Lawrence's suggestion. But this next one's actually pretty good. So this is a character called Katarina that, actually, let me just remind myself who it was whose idea this was and give him proper credit in the comments. Let's have a look. Here you go. So this is Jason Todd, number 9. When I was a kid, I conceived of a new Baroness character similar to Chameleon, but predating the character by several years, I believe. This was the sister of Anastasia Cicerovna. A fraternal twin, Katerina was born 1 minute earlier and has been kidnapped as a child, never having been found, only to return as an adult and claim the right to her sister's title. I traded figures with a friend to get an extra Baroness and painted the hair yellow because I wanted Katerina to be blonde, and painted the inside of the glasses frame black. I wanted her to have aviators, but that was the best I could do. I hadn't thought much more about it, aside from her basically supplanting her sister in Cobra High Command and becoming a Cobra Commander's most trusted confidant, while Starz's relationship with Destro strained Coco's trust in her. So that was Jason Todd. I took his idea for this next one. And this one that it produced, I think's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So I'd obviously used his file card bio that he'd put together there to inform the prompts that I put in. Create me a G.I. Joe classified 6-inch character. I want it to be inspired by the Baroness. In fact, it's the sister of Baroness. Give it blonde hair, aviators, and this is what it churned out, which I think is all right. In fact, it's quite reminiscent. The jumpsuit is quite reminiscent of the current Baroness that's in the Rattler, I think, in style and design. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good, and I did a second pass at it, and this was the other version that it produced, which I thought was also pretty good. And what I also like about this pair is that they're actual sort of G.I. Joe figures to some extent. It's not like the Captain Britpop with the soft goods and stuff. So got the aviators, got the blonde hair. Obviously, this time around, is tied it back. The flight suit with the blue trimmings and stuff. Yeah, I think this one's pretty decent. I definitely. I'm always saying I think we need more female characters in the line, so I definitely up for something like this. But Jason, if you're watching, I don't think you're here today, but if you take a look at the video on demand, let me know your thoughts. There's how does this compare to your mind's eye imagination of the Katerina character from your childhood? Let me know. Let me know if AI's done you a solid job there. Let's see what the chat got to say about this one. Rob says, yes, she came out really well. I think so. I think this one came out really well. But what's interesting is, just for like a tangential AI related chat, is that the way I was writing the commands for this one wasn't a great deal different from, say, the Mindbender one or, the Burnout one with the extra hand. It was... I was saying, create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified series character, action figure, so I was setting it up and writing it in the same way. I'll show you, because we'll do some together in a minute. But this one seemed to come out a lot stronger. I don't know why. Billy, the chat's a bit low. Let me bring that up a bit so we can read that properly. There you go. I'd like to see a Chris the Legend Kyle style Joe. They did a movie about him called American Sniper, and for the Cobra, I'd like to see Mustafa as the insurgent sniper. Oh, is that was that Bradley Cooper, was it? Okay, well, we'll give it a go in a minute for you, Billy. Okay, it says, I definitely picked this one up. Blue Widow, yeah. And Rob says, wow, the second one is even better. Yeah, honestly, I was quite surprised when this one turned out. I think this is a solid character and a solid looking figure. And then I think just one more. So I mentioned in the video an otter themed ninja. Oh no, I did 3 Katerinas. There you go. There's the third one. I forgot about this one. Oh, I tell you what I did. So this is the third and final one, because I said, can you give her knee-high boots like the Baroness? Was what I think was the thigh-high boots. Sorry. So this was the the third and final. Not too bad. The only thing that stands out to me is like you've got this weird sort of double zip situation over that little leather jacket at the top there that I don't quite fully understand. Surely that would just be a clasp or a pop stud on the top one. But there you go. But yeah, I mean, really, the AI has done very well, and I love the hair sculpt. It's definitely got sort of hair sculpty vibes like some of the more recent Marvel Legends, you know, like they've done with the flowing hair and stuff there, which I thought was interesting. Rob, is that Heather Graham from the second Austin Powers? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, I hadn't thought that'd be right. It does have a Heather Graham from Austin Powers kind of vibe about it, doesn't it? Yeah, I can see that, totally. Well, it's AI, isn't it? It's probably, that could be, you know, it draws its inspiration from all over the place. So that Captain Britpop from before, where you said, is it one of the Gallagher brothers? I didn't mention Gallagher's or Oasis at all. I used the phrase Britpop, and this is what came out. Now, if you grew up in the UK in the 90s, you know that Britpop is a wide church, and there's, you know, you could have just as easily gone for Blur or something, but that's the direction they went in. So who knows where it's drawing his inspiration from? Maybe it has pulled a kind of Heather Graham style likeness there. So getting back on track, so this is the last one that I pre-prepared, and then we'll have a go at doing one together. This is the Otter. This is Otter Kagi, which was the Otter-themed ninja that I asked it to produce, just based on the throwaway comment. I think he's all right. Again, it's sort of done soft goods in there, but whatever, it's all fine. And pin joints again, Connor, I'm afraid to say, and I know this would be one, with this weird kind of otter headpiece with really low eyes at the bottom there, but with like sort of brown ottery colour scheme and stuff, and ninja weapons. I kind of like these little claws, these little kind of otter style claws. I think are pretty cool. So that's not too bad. But take a look at this one. I did a second pass at it. Hi Eric, everyone say hi to Charlotte in the chat. Yeah, this was the second pass at it. So this is the first one, which is obviously a human ninja in you know, with an otter theme, you know, wearing a kind of like an otter helmet and with otter claws on the back of the hands and stuff. Whereas this one, I don't know whether I mistyped something in the command prompt, and so it's literally made the character an otter, literally with an otter head and otter arms, and little otter paws at the bottom there and stuff. But actually, overall, the AI has not produced a bad figure there particularly. Although, you know, single joint elbows, not a bad figure, and certainly to look at it, you'd know it was a sort of martial artsy. Like I say, it's an otter themed ninja. To look at it, you'd know it was a martial artsy type thing. I'm not quite sure what's in this bandolier. What's that? You're just smuggling cigars. It looks like single wrapped cigars. But why? Yeah, I don't know if I mistyped or kind of commanded it wrong, because it's literally made the character an otter. So I suppose in the world of G.I. Joe, this would be perhaps another kind of failed experiment or some strange, you know, this would be a Sunbow cartoon Ninja Turtles crossover or something. I'll keep forgetting to unlock that. So there you go. They were the ones that I used to do the kind of test. Those were the ones that I used to sort of check the concept would work and it would produce something. So I'll tell you what, let's go back to Billy's here. I'd like to see a Chris the Legend Kyle style Joe. So here we go. I'm in the Gemini image generator here. So let's give it a command. Create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified action figure, inspired by Chris the Legend Kyle. So he was a sniper, was he? His specialism is a sniper. So we'll want a military uniform, presumably. Put him in appropriate military uniform for a sniper. For a deployed sniper. What else? What else would it need to know to kind of get it right for me? Let's think. So he'll be a hero. He will be part of G.I. Joe and a good guy. What else? Should we give him a desert theme? Give him a desert operations color scheme, something like that. I know you guys are on a slight time delay to me. Yes, he was a Navy SEAL. Okay. In the Navy SEALs, let's add that as a bit of flavor. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens, shall we, folks? Here we go. Bam. Probably could have done a more detailed description than that, but let's see what joys the Gemini AI image generator creates for us. All right, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's it's pretty solid. It's giving him soft goods again, though, isn't it? Giving him soft goods, but that's the hat's a bit oversized too. But it's not too bad. I'm assuming some of you guys from the US will probably know better than I the appropriateness of the rifle that it's given him there. But he's got, you know, a load of spare magazines all tucked into his tactical vest there. Got his radio. Seems pretty appropriately kitted up. That's not too bad. I don't know if the likeness is any good, Billy. You have to tell me if the likeness is any good. Yes, he also had a puncher logo as his raise mark. You'll have to excuse my ignorance there. I don't know what that means. But so keep this, but add a puncher logo as a raise mark. Make his hat fit better. Looks like a Valaverse figure. Yeah, it does have sort of Valaverse vibes. Now that looks class. Connor likes that one. And it says it's getting a lot better. That's right. Yes, correct rifle. Okay, brilliant. Is there anything else we want to ask it to correct, or should we just do that? I'll tell you what. Make him an action figure that does not use soft goods. Clothes. Hasbro style. Oh, sorry, typo. Yeah, sometimes my wireless keyboard goes a bit squiffy. Let's see what this gives us. The likeness is fair. Okay. Trademark on his screen. Generating. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, okay. Oh, this could even be. What do we think? Yeah, so puncher on his. So is this what you meant here? Is ID patch on there? They've added the G.I. Joe logo to the front of the hat. Did the other one have the G.I. Joe logo on the front of the hat? Kind of stuck with the everything else in the core. Although minimized the soft goods and made it more like a Joe action figure. So yeah, that's not bad, that one. That's not bad. I think that one's come out okay. In answer, you know, just off the back of your comment, Eric, I have today taken a 30-day free trial on Gemini AI Pro. Because I was reading online again when I was preparing for this stream that sometimes they cut you off if too many people are generating images at the same time on the free version. So, but I also noticed that the Gemini Pro advertises a more higher powered AI or something or other. Rob's into this one. This would be fun as hell to play with. And Stephen Greenwood, who I think that's the first comment from Stephen. So hi, Stephen, welcome. He used the Punisher logo. Okay. So keep this or integrate the Punisher logo. And that on his tactical vest, would that have been? He has a Pincher logo on his gear. Damn spell check. So was that the same typo? Have you just done, yeah, a puncher logo? Are you typing on your phone, Billy? And here we go. Third attempt. Oh yeah, how's that? That's not too bad, is it? Yeah, so it's integrated the Punisher logo on the front there. Still got all the spare mags on his tactical vest, got his radio and everything. Hat's right. G.I. Joe logo on the front, although the G.I. Joe logo has gone a bit squiffy. There's probably a trademark thing there. The rifle stayed the same. Yeah, I think that's not a bad... That's not bad at all, is it? No random sick fingers. No weird floating hands. No strange half and half faces. I think that's a pretty decent one, Billy. I think that's all right, that one. Yeah, that's good. All right, Brill, we're on a roll here. I'll go back and download these after the stream. So thanks, Billy, for your suggestion. I hope that brings your action figure desires somewhat to life. We'll obviously package them up and send them as a batch of proposals to Hasbro, including the Otter Ninja. So let's just jump back. Let's have a look at what else is in the comments here. So Will, a regular around these parts, said, so he was all into marine animals. So for the Cobra side, they all had sea snakes, sharks, and creepy-looking octopus. In my imagination, the Cobra Troopers were all infused by something Dr. Mindbender created that made them more aggressive and able to breathe underwater. Silly as fuck as I know, but as far as the sex is, they mostly have male figures, but would definitely create males and females on both sides. Might have given them code names. Right, so he was looking at some sort of diver-style character, some sort of diver or ocean specialist that had been mutated and infused by Dr. Mindbender with a creature. So, in fact, chat, which one should we go for? He mentions sea snakes, sharks, and creepy-looking octopus. So, what should we infuse him with? Okay, create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe Classified Series figure by Hasbro. He is a Cobra Trooper. Oh, hang on, my live chat thing that shows me the chats has just frozen up. Let me just give it a quick refresh. I can see what you're all saying to me. Does this quite a lot, actually. It freezes up quite frequently. Loading. Here we go. And then let's scroll down to the bottom of the chat. Almost perfect, says Bobby. The uniform is desert, but the 2006 US version. Okay. So not bad. That's yeah. So the legend has come out pretty well, but we're going to go in a different direction now. So he's a Cobra Trooper who operates as a diver. He has been genetically modified to have aspects of right, you guys are not jumping in quick enough, so I'm just going to go with the octopus. Octopus. I can see after doing the Navy SEAL Desert Camo Sniper based on a real legend, the American Sniper, this one's going to go in a different in a bit of a different direction. aspects of an octopus about him. And what else did Will say? Make him more aggressive and breathe underwater. More aggressive and breathe underwater. Use typical Cobra color schemes in the uniform. So, character aligns with other types of Cobra troopers. I suppose you. I couldn't imagine live streaming my spelling. Well, I don't mind. I mean, have I done some weird spells? Oh, hey, speaking of Will, here he is, heading home soon to catch the show. You're streaming too early for us on the East Coast. Oh, okay, fair enough, man. But I'm doing your figure right now, my friend, so make sure that you do. Oh, Bobby said Cobra will merge with the shark. The time delay is proper slow then, I think. Let me just have a look at how far behind me you guys are. Yeah, you're really far behind. But however, I've not hit enter yet, so I can make that change. So aspects of a shark about him. Use typical Cobra color schemes in the uniforms. So are we arming what with a harpoon? Arm him with a harpoon and provide appropriate breathing apparatus. Place the figure in an underwater diode scene. All right, let's do it. Let's just do it. I think it's almost better to not over prompt, to over command, and that's what produces some of the more random out there stuff. Oh, okay, here we go. That was pretty quick, that. Let's have a look. What is going on there? I've just realised that I told it to give him breathing apparatus, but the whole point of the Dr. Mindbender mutation was so that he can breathe underwater, so we'll correct that in a minute. That head does look a bit weird. The armor's alright. The armor's alright, and armed with a harpoon and stuff. The shark helmet thing over the top. So he's mutated with a shark. He's got like a shark face, but he's wearing like this weird sort of shark hat that looks a little bit like Jeff from the Marvel comics. Yeah. Oh, hang on, let me unlock that. I think Rob's on the same page as me here. So let's correct that. Okay. Keep this, but remove the breathing apparatus and add a propulsion thing. Let's see what happens now. Oh dear. That uniform is round as hell, but wow, that head. Yeah. That's just silly. Oh, dear. Oh, how many folks you got watching? I don't even know how many people are watching right now. 10 people. With a little thick fin on the back of the head. Like that would make some sort of difference. And look, he's got like the propulsion unit's got like a little foghorn thing at the bottom of it. You liking that, Billy? But that head is actually, I mean, as far as a sculpt would go, if you saw that like as a digital render, like legit in a Hasbro stream, and you saw that sculpt, you'd have to acknowledge that the sculpt is It's pretty good, but it does look absolutely horrifying. I don't understand why it's putting like the little the little shark shape helmet over the top of his top of his face. Oh dear. So Will's just jumped in, loving it, smiling, eyes beaming. Great job, but I think I think Le's job is safe. You always say you like the balmier characters, yeah, indeed. Gordon. Oh yeah, from Ninja Turtles. Is that Gordon? Was that the name of the sharkin? That's wacky. Oh dear. Yeah, not bad though. Fun. Any improvements? Any other passes you'd like me to make, chat, before I move on and see what else was in the comments there? I'll just pause for a minute for the or slow down a minute so that you guys in chat can catch up with my time delay. Double eyes, astonished face. Looks like lots of goodies. Oh, Billy's liking this. It's so much fun. Yeah, and you know what's also nice is the way we've kind of gone from two extremes. Like, yeah, can we make this great Navy SEAL character, like based on a real individual who's literally called the Legend? Oh, how accurate's the uniform? You know, and Billy, you were able to tell me like about the uniform, like from one extreme. It's a complete swing in the opposite way. Let's have a shark man who breathes underwater. And that is what I like about that, though, is that's so typical of G.I. Joe. You know, as Rob said before, I like the balmy stuff. I'm into the wacky, the science fiction, the fantasy kind of elements of it all. That actually appeals to me in my older age a lot more. But obviously, some folks are much more, their imagination is much more inspired by the toy soldier element, you know, the military inspiration. So yeah, I just love the fact that we're able to just sort of bounce between two different things. I've just noticed he's got like extra little fin details on his uniform as well. They're like on the end of his elbows and on the back of his boots. Oh dear. Let's have a look and see what else we got in here. This is hysterical. Ghoulies, Toxic Avenger, Toxo Zombie, or Slugs Vipers. We miss you too, Will. Will just said there. Greetings to everyone here today. Miss you guys. Yeah, sorry, man. Time zones, isn't it? Okay, let's go jump back in and try another one. So I think, Connor, if you're still here, did you pop one in? Let's have a look. Okay. I've given it some thought, says Connor. I always lived in movies when the good guys dressed in the bad guys' uniforms as a disguise. Star Wars influence, as I well know. Connor is a huge fan of the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker disguised as stormtroopers from A New Hope. And two characters I love were Shipwreck and the Crimson Guard. So how about a Shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard holding the helmet under his arm? Okay, that's a good one. Chris, you would totally buy this. Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe throw in an extra accessory. He'd need one of those. What are those little fish that swim alongside sharks and clean them, like as his creature companion? Oh dear. So what was Connor's now? So Shipwreck disguised as it. Right. Okay. So create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified series figure by Hasbro. This figure will be the G.I. Joe character. Ooh. The G.I. Joe character Shipwreck, but in disguise as a Crimson Guard. We want to see Shipwreck's face and have the Crimson Guard helmet tucked under his arm. I don't think we need any more than that, do we? I've kind of instructed quite closely there. I'm just thinking, no, I don't think we need anything else than that. See Shipwreck's face and have the Crimson Guard helmet tucked under his arm. Get the figure typical Crimson Guard embellishment, like the sword and backpack. Pop. Holly. The parrot. Nope. On the opposite shoulder to the helmet. Holding arm. Let's do it. I can sit here staring, waiting for some sort of prompt inspiration, but I think sometimes just shooting a little bit more ambiguous is what produces the better images. Don't forget, folks, in chat, just if you got any thoughts, any suggestions, anything you want to throw out there right now. Oh, I'm still learning how to generate certain kinds of images, so I might not be able to create exactly what you're looking for yet. What? Which part of that do you think it struggled with? All right. Let's do it again. Let's see if that's better. Oh, here we go. This looks more promising. Did it do that before? I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the chat to see if any of you guys were talking. So from that we can conclude that while it obviously knows shipwrecks like a sailor dude with a beard and a hat, and it sort of has a sense of a Crimson Guard, and it's certainly able, as we've seen from the legend, it's certainly able to replicate, real real life individuals. It doesn't know what a Crimson Guard looks like. Oh, Eric's just said there, hit the redo button, sometimes it will work. Oh, okay, well, I've just kind of cut and pasted the prompt differently. I mean, that's not a bad character, but that's not what Connor was looking for, was it? He was looking for a Crimson Guard, a shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard. So please make this look more like the Cobra soldier from G.I. Joe called the Crimson Guard. Shipwreck infiltrating Black Series. Yeah, it did have it because the helmet had a kind of Mandalorian vibe. We'll go back to it in a minute. Robert Watland, Shipwreckers at Night. Okay, that might be better. We'll go to. Well, actually, this has still got that kind of Star Warsy vibe around the helmet, hasn't it? Look, definitely got a kind of like a Mandalorian or a. Oh, in fact, it probably more reminds me of the Clone Troopers there, and they've obviously added the Crimson Guard-y sort of more ceremonial coat type thing. But it's not shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard. They've made a shipwreck Crimson Guard, haven't they? Because look, it's got the anchor symbol all over the place, like on the helmet and on the front of his hat. And also, he's got the hat and the helmet. Oh, got the sort of shoulder pads and his armor there looks more like more like protective BMX gear. Oh dear. Oh, hang on, let me lock that so I can go back over to the chat. That body design is kind of awesome. It has some visionary vibes. Oh yeah, I can see that. Visionary vibes. It looks like an Action Force bad guy. Yeah, it's got a Red Shadowsy vibe too. Yeah, definitely. So we like, it's just that the AI is not giving us quite what we're actually asking for. So we think, oh, that's an interesting design it's produced, but it's not giving us a Crimson Guard, shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard there. Although I kind of like the Visionaries thing. Keep this, but add a holographic shield like a visionary would have. Let's see what it makes of that. Oh, that's cool, Rob. Yeah, Red Shadows. I got my little Fresh Monkey Fiction Eagle Force Red Shadow knockoff there. Well, yeah, that's not a holographic shield like the Visionaries used to have, is it? It's not bad. Although that actually looks better. The angle on the figure, the sort of photographic angle, and the chest symbol and the belt buckle are nicer, I think. The chest symbol there, I think that's a better chest symbol than belt buckle. With a weird holographic. So we basically created a whole new character now. So we need a name for this. We need a name for this. I don't feel like this is Shipwreck anymore. Like, this is a new, you know, like we should call this guy Admiral, the Crimson Admiral. Admiral Mando, in recognition of the fact that the helmet looks a bit Star Warsy. I don't know. Suggestions in the chat. I can't think of any other amendments. So there you go, Connor. I think you probably, I know you're early to bed, early to rise. So you probably dropped off there now. But there's your Shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard. Sorry. I wonder if you tell it to show you a picture of a Crimson Guard, then tell it to use it as a reference. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. Show me a picture. Oh, picture. There you go, Rob. See, as I'm getting more and more tired, it's happening more frequently. Of a G.I. Joe Crimson Guard. Captain Crimson. Right, okay, so there we go. Retry the previous action figure attempt, but use this as a reference, please. Oh, I've missed the S off. Please. Captain Crimson. Let's see whether that manages to improve things. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, that's interesting. So he's just decided to completely ignore the colour scheme of a Crimson Guard. M. Young here, everyone. Everyone say hi to M. Young. Create image Jenna Husky into a princess and make sprinkle pixie dust and add a gown. Okay, yeah, we'll come to that. Could you try Google searching, please? Oh, right. Well, now, M. Young, you have made me a little bit suspicious as to your intentions there. If I Google Jenna Husky as a princess, I feel like you have maybe tried to set me up there, my friend. I'm going to need some reassurances. Could one of the regulars around these parts do me a favor and just check that I'm not about to fall into a trap there for me, if you'd be so kind. But this figure, so yeah, it's kind of lost the Shipwreck vibe because they've got rid of the beard. But it's actually quite a cool sort of smirking face sculpt. Got the Cobra symbols all in there. I mean, there's some nice sculpted details and stuff. Yeah, the helmet makes it more Crimson Guardy, but again, it's sort of looks more like a kind of 16th century spearman type helmet, doesn't it? It's just not very like something you'd see on a battlefield in Scotland. Admiral Gloval from Robotech, but when he was a captain. Oh yeah, I can see that because the color scheme and everything. Yeah. Sorry, M. Young. I am very, very sus about requests to ask me to just randomly Google stuff while I'm on a live stream. I'm sure you can appreciate why that. I'm tentative about such a thing, and so I'm going to politely decline and say no. I won't be Googling. Or working with your suggestion because I'm just not particularly reassured, and I don't believe you've been around or a member of the chat before. So apologies. I hate to disappoint, but you're also pushing a little bit too hard, which makes me a little bit more suspicious. And I hate that. I hate that that's my first instinct. But I hope you can appreciate and understand why that's where I'm coming from. Going back to the chat there. Charlock, they went a Tomax and Zaymot direction with the face. Yeah, I can sort of see that. Ish. Yeah, I sort of agree a bit, Eric. I can kind of see that for sure. Yeah, the blue uniform on that's actually quite cool, isn't it? And it's because I did say in an earlier prompt, use typical Cobra colours, but I didn't on this one, and it has kind of found its way to some typical Cobra colours. It's just not giving us what Connor was looking for, which was that shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard, looking for a straight up shipwreck disguised as a Crimson Guard. So I suppose what I'm going to have to do is just disappear off screen for a minute. Get that there. Get a shipwreck. Alright, Crimson Guard. Oh! Bollocks. It's done that thing where the pegs come out with the head. That's so annoying when that happens. Ah, now it's like be really difficult to put back in. So that was happening with my cover girl. I've got the retro cover girl came the other day, and I was playing around, and I was like, oh well, I'll do the head swap. Everyone's going to want to know about the head swap when I review it, so I'll do the head swap onto the older uniform. And this one's doing it as well, popping out with the peg inside the head. And oh, let me just full screen myself a minute. And when so I was looking for my multi-tool with my thing in it that I use for sort of situations, couldn't find it anywhere. Says my wife, have you seen my multi-tool anywhere? And she was like, oh yeah, I took it. She volunteers with the Girl Guides, my wife, and she said I took it with me when I went on camp. Have a look in my camping bag. No, not there. Can't find it. Just gone, lost to the sands of time. So I got an Amazon voucher for my birthday today, and I've used said Amazon voucher to buy myself a sexy new multi-tool, which I could do with right now with that situation. However, that said, it looks like the Crimson Guard has got the older, smaller head peg, and Shipwreck's got the more recent, larger one. So I couldn't even make it come to life for you, Connor, on the fly with the real figures there. I feel like I've let you down. I feel like I've let you down. All right, I'll sort that Crimson Guard out in a minute. Okay, so that's another failed attempt, but actually kind of produced something kind of interesting. Who we are now calling Captain Crimson, which is not a G.I. Joe classified series character at all. I think we're going to, well, maybe. I don't know what that is, but Captain Crimson nonetheless. Right, White Vegeta's here, everybody. Everyone say hi to White Vegeta. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you again. When I was little, I regularly integrated other toy lines, particularly if they had snake figures as some type of mind bender experiment. He-Man, Snake Man, mostly. Right, okay, so we're back to mind bender experiments again. So let's give that a go then. So create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified series action figure. The theme of this figure, Jesus, is a so it would be a trooper, would it? Maybe a Cobra Trooper, White Vegeta? Hey, Prophet, how's it going, my man? Everyone say hi to Prophet for me, as well as White Vegeta. The theme of this figure is a Cobra Trooper who has been made into a He-Man style serpent through mad scientist experiments. Do we want to rhyme it up any more than that, or should we just go for that? Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Come on. I go quiet when I'm waiting for the image to generate, and then realize I'm on a stream on my own, so I'm just like having to fill the void. Because who wants to sit here watching me get excited about what might be? Ooh. All right, Eric, no worries. Thank you very much for swinging by. I'll see you again soon, my friend. Good luck with your glass doors. Let's have a look at this bad boy, though. Oh, that's what do you think, White Vegeta? What do you think of your He-Man style mashup Cobra Trooper? Although, what's this? GIU GIU classified series. Maybe there's some sort of copyright thing that's being cautious not to sort of barrel into. Also, I've just realised, so we've got this like big mutated serpent head here, and then as you go down, you've got like a humanoid kind of mutated hands with these little kind of serpenty spikes coming out in gaps in the gauntlet there. Then you got what looks like a tail, but if you follow the tail around, is a second snake serpent at the end of the tail. That's exciting. That's quite. I wonder if it could operate and work independent of the trooper. So you've got sort of the trooper shooting at you, but if you get too close, his big like snake buddy tail will take you out. Oh, Mark here. Welcome, Mark. Everyone say hi to Tat Tat Toys. Hey, dude. Annual leave that Friday in October. Signed off. Got it approved a day or two ago. So we're one step closer. One step closer to getting together. Oh, Curtis doesn't like the tail. But yeah, I tell you what, the tail obviously looks very impractical. It's got a very impractical, like dragging that around. It'd probably be really heavy, Yeah, I was about to say that, Rob, actually. Yeah, it's definitely got a Cobra La vibe about it. I don't know if I can sort of see, obviously I instructed it to take inspiration from He-Man. I can sort of see the He-Man inspiration, but not quite. I tell you what, there is some stuff to like in here. If this figure was, ever advertised, I like a good sculpted logo on a chest. I love a good painted belt buckle, sculpted and painted belt buckle, and sculpted clasps and buckles on the thigh holsters and stuff. Another one that's smuggling cigars as well there. If you have a look on the other thigh holster, a couple of Cubans ready to go. I like this laser gun as well. That's got a kind of retro 80s figure vibe about it, which is kind of cool. And that's probably where a bit of the He-Man's maybe sneaking in. Will says cool Snake Trooper design. White Vegeta, I would have preferred either no legs with a tail or no tail. Right, okay, well, let's give that a go, shall we? So keep this, but completely replace the legs with a serpent's tail. Some Joe versions of bats. Oh, wow, now it's all coming out. You're all waking up suddenly. Let's see what this brings us. So I like Mark's idea here of a post-apocalyptic style Joes to counter the Dreadnoks. Ooh! Let's see, why is he putting... He keeps putting a snake at the end of the tail. That's interesting, though, actually. I like that. That's definitely got a more He-Man vibe to it, hasn't it? With the... with that chest plate, that's a very kind of He-Man-y vibe to it. And the sort of gauntlet braces here. And the helmet as well. And that's got a more He-Man-y vibe to, draw that kind of kit bash inspiration. I also like the way the AI has put like his tunic sort of draped over the top of his serpent's tail. But why he keeps adding this second snake's head on the other end of the snake, and also the snaky mutation has sort of disappeared, hasn't it? So while I think that helmet head a bit Star Warsy again, but while I kind of like that helmet head, I think I probably would have preferred the head from the previous one. Also, I'm a bit kind of sorry guys, I keep forgetting to lock the zoom thing before I keep moving around. Also, why is it when I say the phrase keep this but replace the legs, why is it not just keeping it but doing the exact bit I'm telling it? Is there something about AI commands that I need to learn here? Although to be fair, don't try and educate me now. It won't work at this time of night. So we'll wait for White Vegeta's his head rattled now, yeah. So let's try again. Keep this but remove the snake's head from the end of the tail or tassel. Jesus, here you go, Rob. It started. Yeah, as I'm getting increasingly more tired as the night draws further. I'm making more typos. So funny that the snake's head is on the end of the tail. Which head is in charge? Yeah, although I sort of kind of... I mean, I couldn't have been any clearer, could I? Keep this, but remove the snake's head from the end of the tassel. Oh, well, I could have been clearer. Because I could have typed tail correctly. But, what? What? It's still putting the snake at the end of the... I mean, there's an interesting idea there that the Gemini AI image generator has presented us with. I kind of like this idea of having a snake attacking as a part of you kind of thing. But I'm just getting a bit frustrated that I don't know how to command it properly. This has got a kind of Rocketeer sort of retro futurist ray gun vibe about it, hasn't it? Which is kind of cool. It's not given us any wild stinkers, though, has it? We've not had any, like, when you see some of the AI generated stuff, and it's been crazy shit. Very impressive thumbs up. There's a bit of a time delay, Will, so I don't know which image you're finding impressive. I must admit, I think of the three. I think it's the very first one that I like the most. Decoy tail, yeah, that's right, yeah. But out of the three, I feel like it's the first one. I don't know, what do you guys think? The second one's kind of funky, kind of cool, got an interesting thing, and certainly it's got more of the He-Man mashup thing that we asked for vibe about it. I also think the snake head sculpt's pretty cool. Look at that, that's pretty impressive. That third one's just bobbins. Don't like that one at all. That's not appealing to me, that one. So yeah, let me know 1, 2, or 3, folks. 1, 2, or 3. Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to move on, try and fit another couple of attempts in. So let's see. What was it? Mark said we need a few post-apocalyptic style Joes to counter the Dreadnoks. So we want kind of like biker gang, Mad Maxy kind of vibe, but on a good guy side of things. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what we can do here. So create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified action figure by Hasbro. This character will be... I'm going to do a female. We're not doing a female character for a little while. Will be a female member of G.I. Joe. The inspiration for the character's theme is a biker gang lip pick. There we go. Mad Max. I hope you don't mind me putting words in your mouth, Mark. I'm going for Mad Max there. Style of design. Should we give it some sort of specialism? Well, a biker, I suppose. So a mechanic. Make a mechanic. Also, give her appropriate accessories. Let's see what happens. And while that's going on, I'm going to scroll down and see if there's any additions to chat. Rob's voting for number 1. Curtis is voting for number 1. Mark's voting for number 1. Will likes both the Snake Troopers, fair enough. So Will's going 1 and 2. Cage Fighter, oh, see the time delays. Although, oh, let's have a look at this. What do you think of that, Mark? And rest of the chat. Although, interestingly enough, he's given us the proper G.I. Joe name there instead of the G.I. Ooh that it was given us before. Kind of reminiscent of the Burnout character that I created earlier. I don't. Her rifle's mounted on her back, kind of weird. I don't know what's going on there. Like no strap and stuff. She's also got this little kind of satchel thrown over her other shoulder. She's got mechanic gear in there, but it's got all these kind of like interesting little sort of danglies and stuff hanging off the belt, which is kind of cool. That'd be an interesting sculpt idea, wouldn't it? Got these kind of patches and stuff. Been repairing her clothes because she's a bit post-apocalyptic. Bit of oil on the paint, on the bit of oil and grime on the face because she's a mechanic. Got the driving goggles. That's not bad, that. That's not bad. Very Warhammer 40k. Yeah, what's the game? Necromundery. That's right, that's the one with the gangs in it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so not a lot there to amend, but you said a cage fighter, so let's add that element. Keep this, but add some cage fighter elements. Mount the rifle on her back more accurately. Oh, it's a military guy. Oh, this time delay is annoying, isn't it? Because I'm catching on to things later than thing. Ragnar Lothbrok with a rifle. Looks like the Fortnite mechanic with the owl. Oh, I'm not on top of Fortnite, so I'll take your word for that. Will's liking that one. She looks great. Yeah, it does look like a good figure. Ooh. Ooh, what do we think? An improvement? Is that an improvement? It's still not acknowledged my command to have the rifle properly mounted on her back. I'm also not sure I can see in there the cage fighter elements, other than it's kind of posed her in a more I'm about to fuck you up with my wrench kind of pose. I don't feel like, although I like this little kind of footplate with the thing, kind of reminiscent of the anniversary series figures, isn't it? With the little footplate with the logo on the front. Yeah, I think I like 2 a bit better. Still got all your kind of weird danglies and shit. But what did you want? Some camo in there? Add some military camo. Keep this, but add some military camo elements to the design. Lady Liberty with a rifle, says Billy. Tell you what, it's really hot in here. I'm gonna pull my fan a bit closer to me. Just let me know if the mic starts picking up the fan noise. I don't know if you can see, but my hair does that. Can you see where it's going curly at the front? This is because I'm sweating across my forehead. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm sweating across my forehead, and it makes my hair go kind of all weird and curly and forwardy, and then I look like those. I don't know if in North America this is fashionable, but here in the UK, all the kids, all the young lads are wearing these kind of weird alpaca hair things. Anyway, that was total random tangent. So let's have a look at attempt 3 with a bit of camo integrated, shall we? Where's it put the camo? It's also raised the rifle even further off her, just gradually came further off her back as we go along. I like all these though, these like sort of little character embellishments, like she's got all the keychains and stuff there. They've added a camping mat, like a little roll-out bedspread here on this one. I like the pin badges on the denim jacket. Or is it leather? No, it's kind of leathery and stuff. So overall, it's decent, but it's not taking that instruction to add camo, because the color scheme even hasn't particularly changed all that much, has it? Still the same sort of blue, brown, black leather waistcoaty kind of thing. I do like this sort of shoulder, this sort of piece of armor on the shoulder there, which they've taken off, which the AI has taken off on this side. That was the first one. Yeah, the first one. Actually, I think this one, all 3 attempts have been decent, other than some wacky AI stuff like that rifle not sitting right. It's done some kind of cool stuff with that one. What do you think, Mark? I mean, that was your request. She has great tattoos. Number 3. Let's have a look at the tats there. I don't know if they are tattoos. Is that? I think that's just kind of like oil and grime to indicate she's a mechanic, bikery person. I'm not sure it's actual tats. Did one of the previous ones have tats? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it's sort of like muck and grime, like she's been repairing a Jeep or something. She's been under the hood. Or maybe she's that dedicated to the mechanic's cause that she's had oil and grime tattoos on her. She looks like an old school McFarlane toy. can see it. She's got a kind of video gamey vibe as well, like a post-apocalyptic sort of survival shooter vibe about her, isn't she? Okay, Grace, it's time for many, many cocktails. You have a great birthday and absolutely love the stream. Yeah, no worries, Rob. Take it easy. Enjoy your night out. Or night in. You know, you can have cocktails at home as well. Would the AI merge iconic G.I. Joe vehicle as an armor on the character? I don't know, but we'll give it a try for you, Prophet. And Tata says, I like that one. All three designs look great. Brill. Okay, yeah, excellent character. Thank you very much. So let's give that a try for Prophet. So, Prophet, what vehicle would you want to turn into some G.I. Joe armor? And we'll give it a quick go. Although it's creeping up, it's 25 past 10. I'm going to make this the last one, I think, folks. Would AI take the instructions saying character in army fatigues? Yeah, well, we'll give that a go while I'm waiting for Prophet to drop his expanded idea in. So keep this character, but put her in army fatigues. Let's see what happens. I've not kept any sort of an eye on my connection or anything today. I hope all has been all right, folks, and none of you shouted up and said or out. So I think it's going all right. Let's just have a look at that with the army fatigues. Yeah, so just giving us some like combat trousers. Also, what's going on with this magazine up here? That's an interesting idea for a quick change magazine. And also, the handle is a magazine as well. It's kind of losing his mind a bit. Yeah, these are good. I like these ones, Matt. Oh, a dragonfly. Okay. We can do that, Prophet. I'll put the command in now. Let's just see what... The Fortnite mechanic figure I mentioned earlier has great tattoos. Oh, right. I'll Google it after we finish up. My son's a big Fortnite fan, so he'll know what you're talking about. I'll get the skinny from him. Although he should be in bed by now. Right. So what are we doing? Dragonfly as an armor on a character. Okay. So create me a 6-inch G.I. Joe classified series... I was about to type figure. I'm going to put figure still, but we'll see what happens. By Hasbro. This character is a G.I. Joe with dragonfly helicopter inspired armor. That's the UK spelling of armor with the U, folks. Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens, Prophet. Let's see how it rolls. Generating image. Generating image. Ooh, what do you got? What do you got? Okay, well, I mean, that reminds me of Centurions. That's got a Centurions vibe, hasn't it? Was it Centurions? Yeah, Centurions. Very much a kind of Centurion-y vibe there. With like, in fact, I'm sure that must have drawn inspiration from the Centurions there, mustn't it? Look at the armor design on it. That's definitely Centurions-y. Obviously got the propellers there, and the tail and everything, and a couple of engines. So you got the Dragonfly armor that I would assume, looking at the picture, is operational. You can use it to, helicopter around. Got a little submachine gun there. He's on like a launch pad at a base. What do you think, Prophet? What do you reckon to that? Power extreme, yes, exactly. Yeah. They used to do that, didn't they? There is a manufacturer who's made new versions or updated versions of those, isn't there? I'm sure I've seen it knocking around somewhere. Where did I see it? It might have been on Robo's YouTube channel, like he did a review of one of them once. But I used to love my Centurions. Yeah, I used to play with them loads when I was a kid. Yeah, that's good. I don't know, any improvements that you would like to see? I could just ask it to give us another try. Pretty cool, but weird as well. Yeah, it is a bit kind of odd. Like, can you imagine having to put it on in a rush? Like, action stations! It's just like... Do you remember how Johnny Five had a dreadnought look in Short Circuit 2? I'd like to see Wally as a dreadnought. All right, well, I can slam that one in quickly, but I'm going to... Ramen Toys, yeah, I'll send that one over to Ramen Toys, get them to... give us another example of that one. Let's just ask it for another example of that one. See what it gives us. More missiles, okay. More missiles. Hey, Jason Todd, Katarina looks pretty good. I hadn't thought about blue, but it works well and sets her apart from the black and the red. It usually works. Yeah, so I'm glad you've been backing out a lot, man. Apologies I didn't do them live. I was, I took your idea to use as my test before the stream to see if it works. But I got to tell you, I didn't tell it to do the color. It chose the blue. The AI chose the blue of its own accord. And Curtis suggested that the title, The Blue Baroness, would then be appropriate. Yeah, no worries, Will. Thank you very much. So this one here is the new attempt. Okay, so this is more like body armor with the dragonfly motif kind of rolled in. I like the engines bolted to the sides of the helmet. Completely impractical, you know. A lot to like in the design, though. It's got a sort of science fiction vibe. It reminds me of that ATL 25 from Four Horsemen that I recently picked up, actually. It's got a bit of a vibe of that about it. But we're looking for more missiles. And more missiles. Oh, typo again, sorry. While that's generating, Jason Todd, Baroness Katarina looks pretty good. Hadn't thought about the blue. Oh, it's a double post. Why Vegeta looks more like a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. Yeah, I can see that. So that's like a combination of the first and the second picture with the more missiles added. I particularly like that he's carrying the landing, the landing props. But is that profit? Is that enough missiles for you? I've added a few missiles there. Little waste launcher, a bit like heavy metal. Not heavy metal. Metalhead. All right, I'm going to start bringing this to a close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask it one last one. I'm just going to go with Bobby's there. Can you make a Wally that looks like a dreadnought in 6-inch action figure form? Nice, yeah, he likes the more missiles. I'll download all these and I'll see if I can pop them in a gallery somewhere. The YouTube community page only lets you put 5 images up in one. Whoa! So I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can do it over a couple of posts over the next couple of days. It's got a pretty busy weekend. What do you reckon of that, Bobby? It's got legs and tracks. Skull belt buckle. Got the denim vest with the safety pins on. Little bandana. Spiked club. And a little chainsaw-y style type thing. They've even put it in the packaging behind there. That's a good one to finish up on. I've done about 90 minutes there. Running out of steam, and it's getting very, very hot in here, folks. And it's getting late, and I've got to get up for work tomorrow. So there we go. Bit of silly fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Just as a light-hearted kind of stream to have a little mess around with and a bit of a play with. Don't forget, folks, the most recent video on the channel is the Armored Cobra Commander review. So if you haven't already, please do jump on over to check that out and give it a watch. I've also got the version 4 Snake Eyes and Retro Cover Girl waiting in the wings there. I've not done all the footage for those two yet, so I'll get them finished up over the next couple of nights and get them posted if anyone's interested in those two characters. Yeah, Wally's had enough. This is what I think of these fat fucks in their floating chairs. Oh dear. So yeah, I'll get those recorded, but I've got a pretty busy weekend, so I'll try to feed those out over the next couple of days. Otherwise, you guys know where to find me on the likes of Instagram, over on the Frontline Discord, which you should come and join. If you're not already a member, I'll pop a link to that in the chat as well. But otherwise, all that remains to say is thanks very much for coming and hanging out. It's been a right chuckle. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for all the suggestions and getting involved. It's been a good laugh. Just what I needed. But I am going to call it there, wrap up, and make my way to a bed. Well, I might have a quick cheeky bit of supper first. Cool. All right. So